Okay, going over the measurement and geometry, probability and statistics, review sheet, answers. Directions. Select the letter that best answers the question. You may use a calculator on these. So if you have a calculator that you want to access, have that out and ready to go. All right, the first one tells us that the boxes are equivalent to the variable x and the stars are equivalent to 1. So which inequality is modeled by the picture? So you have one box, which is a value of x, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. So you know that the inequality has to be an x and a 5, x and a 5, x and a 5, x and a 5. Well, if you look at the balance scale, is it balanced? No, it is not. So we know it can't be C. So when we look at this, when a balance scale goes down, it means that the whatever side it goes down on is heavier than the opposing side. Yes? So this is telling us that x is greater than 5. Common sense kind of thing. Balance scale picture. Which number line correctly models the inequality? First of all, closed circles are less than greater than, open. Open circles are less than greater than. Closed circles are less than equal to, greater than equal to. We look for where the circle is on the number line. Where is the circle? Well, first of all, we see that's a greater than, so we know it can't be that one because it's closed. We know it can't be that one because it's closed. So now we're dealing with these two options, B and D. We're looking for me, I would rewrite this inequality right away just so I don't get confused because I like my letters on the left. So I'm going to put it as W. The tip is pointing towards the W. So W is less than -3. So numbers that are, this is on -3, this is on -3. Numbers that are less than -3, are they to the right or are they to the left? Well, if we know our number line, we know that numbers less than -3 fall to the left on the number line, so your answer choice is D. Next page. Which is the first step, get lined up here, in order to solve the following equation? Well, we ask ourselves the questions. What is my variable? P. What is it attached to? -6. How do I undo a -6? Add 6. So, add 6, subtract 6, subtract 6. We know these two are not choices right away. Add 6 to the P minus 6 and add 6 to 10. Add 6 to the P minus 6 and add 10 to the 10. Well, we've talked about crying babies. Whatever mommy gives one baby, mommy gives to the other baby, or else they start crying. She can't give $6 to one and $10 to the other and expect there not to be a crying fit. So whatever we do to one side, we must do to the other. So we add 6 to one side and we add 6 to the other. There it is. You just have to know it in written format. Number 24, which equation is modeled by the picture? The dog bowl equals D and a bone equals 1. So here we have the dog bowl, D, and 1. Must have an operation between it. Is it a positive 1 or a negative 1? Well, it doesn't say it's negative, so we'll assume it's positive. Equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Positive bones on the other side. D plus 1 equals 8. Number 25. Solve y divided by 2 equals 10. Again, questions. What is the variable? Y. What's it attached to? 2. How is it attached? Division. How do I undo it? Multiplication. What do I multiply by? Whatever is attached to the y, which in this case is 2. What I do to one side, I must do to the other side. Y equals 10 times 2 is 20. Number 26. What is the common ratio in the following sequence? Okay, this we need to think about a little bit because when we're looking at common ratios, we are talking about multiplication. Now, when I look at this sequence of numbers, I can see that they're decreasing And if I look at it mathematically, they're each being divided by 10 to get from one to the next. 1,000 divided by 10 is 100. 100 divided by 10 is 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1. 1 divided by 10 is 1/10. That's a division process, but with a common ratio, it must be multiplication. So if we're dividing by 10, then the opposite is to multiply by 1/10. You don't divide, you multiply by the reciprocal. What is the reciprocal of 10? 1/10. Letter D. Must remember, common ratios are always multiplication. When you write the common ratio, it must always be multiplication. Common ratio. Common difference is adding. Common ratio is multiplying. Number 27. Which statement is correct about the following sequence? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. How do I get from 2 to 4? Plus 2. How do I get from 4 to 6? Plus 2. How do I get from 6 to 8? Plus 2. How do I get from 8 to 10? Plus 2. We are adding 2. Arithmetic, adding. Geometric, multiplying. So this cannot be a geometric sequence. It must be one of these two, which are arithmetic, because we are adding 2. Is it an arithmetic sequence with a common difference of 2? Or is it an arithmetic sequence with a common difference of 4? Well, no brainer. If we're adding 2 to get from one position to the next, then it is a arithmetic sequence with a common difference of 2. 28. Charlene said that she could make any number turn into 1 if she multiplies the number by its reciprocal. What property is she using? Any number. 2/3 times 3 over 2 equals 1. 1/4 times 4 over 1 equals 1. 5 times 1 over 5 equals 1. That is the multiplicative inverse property. Inverse. Flipping. That's one you just have to commit to memory. What is the additive, number 29, what is the additive identity element? So if I have 6 and I'm adding something to it, identity means it remains 6. If I have 1/2 and I add something to it, identity means it remains as 1/2. If I have 3 7/8, what can I add to it for it to still be 3 7/8? The identity element for additive identity is B, 0. B, 0. Additive identity. Multiplicative identity element. Multiplicative identity is what? I hope that you tell me 1. Multiplicative identity element is 1. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 1/2 is 1/2. 1 times 3 7/8 is 3 7/8. Identity element. Additive identity element is 0. Multiplicative identity element is 1. Which property was used in number 30? Sorry, I keep forgetting to say the numbers. Number 30, which property was used in the following equation? 7 times 0 equals 0. Multiplicative identity. Am I starting and ending with the same thing? No. Multiplicative inverse. Am I multiplying my first number by its reciprocal? No. Multiplicative property of 0? Yeah. Don't even have to go any further than that. Multiplicative property of 0. All right, that was assessment 3. I'm going to roll right into assessment 4 and just keep it on. No, I'm not. I'm going to stop the video there so the uploads will be easier. That is tutorial information on assessment 3. Please make sure you're checking everything. Assessment 4 coming up.